Morning everybody. Monday, I believe it's the 31st of January. Happy New Year. I'm at a construction site and I had just left my chiropractor appointment and I decided I'd stop and do a little bit of videoing. The bulldozer you see there moving, he's removing what they probably call the overburden. You know, all the vegetation, because you can't build on top of it. But over there, and I'm going to try to show this, it's a track hoe with a big trencher on the front of it. And that trencher probably digs 12 to 15 feet deep. And then those rolls of piping, they're sock drains, some people call them French drains, will be placed in down to however deep that thing can dig and drain the land. Well, this land was already drained. You know, if you notice how far it, pan back out, how far it drops off from the elevation of the sidewalk. Now, the sidewalk and everything was built up. This was probably all covered with cypress trees at one time, and kind of the proof is that cypress hammock over there. There's another one right there, which is huge. And this is off of Dyer Blvd. You know, I've lived in this area since 1978. And all of this out here, there was no roads out here. Dyer Blvd stopped miles before they got out here. This was just a bunch of land, but it was almost all swamp. And they dug a big retention pond over there. And the problem with retention ponds, depending on the depth, they will drain off much further than just the land where the retention pond is. You know, the underground water will flow to that deeper hole, and it ends up draining off the cypress hammocks. Some people call them cypress heads. They're called, it's the swamp, you know, where cypress trees grow. But if you dig a deep enough hole, it will drain that wetland, that cypress hammock. And cypress trees act as a filter for our water and so much more. And they're supposed to preserve them. They're supposed to be protected trees and so what. They're just not protected against development, because as you see over there, it looks like a 4-story, probably apartment complex or condominiums. And then you have more over there. And now they're calling that compact building. And all it does is stuff a whole lot more people in a small space. Overflows the sewer systems. Consumes a lot more water because there's more people in that small space. And pretty much all the building is going to this. Why they claim urban sprawl is a bad thing. Well, I drove through that community over there, which looks like a 5-story, maybe only a 4-story building. But I drove through it. There's almost no grass to, you know, let water permeate back in the ground. They run it all to these stormwater ditches or stormwater retention ponds, whatever they may call them. And I'll guarantee you, over there, where that large track hoe is, let me see if I can stay on that large track hoe right there, there's a huge stormwater retention pond they just dug. They're still pumping water out of it, dewatering. That's the only way they can dig that deep, and it's probably 20 foot deep. Well, when you dig 20 feet deep in the middle of all these wetlands, it drains all of those wetlands. It all runs to that. While they're in construction, they'll, you know, pump it out and move it around, use it. But eventually that thing's going to fill. And it's not just filling with rainwater, it's filling from the water that's running in from underground. And they're changing the natural flow, which, you know, if you read the comprehensive plan, at least in Polk County, they're not supposed to change the natural flow, but they claim they're controlling the water and not changing the natural flow. Well, it does. You dig a hole 20 foot deep in Florida, the underground water is flowing into it from every angle. I've dug a lot of holes in my life. And they'll dig the dirt out, like you see the big mound back there of dirt. And let me see if I got it right. Yeah, the big mound back there. They'll move it over here and fill this land with that dirt. You know, using the natural resources, but they're changing the natural flow of water, which is never a good idea. But anyway, I was trying to get closer to that retention pond over there, but there's no place to get off the road, and my car doesn't, you know, go up over the curbs too well. It's kind of low to the ground. I drive a little hybrid, and actually, that's not my car, it's my wife's. And I would hate to come home with a messed up car because I went up and over a curb. But yeah, development. I know we all got to have a place to live, and we got to have all the shopping centers and the Publixes and the doctor's offices and all of that. But man, I know there's a better way to do it. And I don't think urban sprawl is quite as bad a deal as they claim. Because this compact building, you know, if those are condos and they're selling them, look how many units they get to sell on that small piece of land. So think about the profits. So they've sold the idea that building up is so much better. But for me, it's all about their profits. And this place is digging retention ponds everywhere. There's one being dug that you can see the hoe moving. And I'm not sure I'm pointing in the right direction. Yeah, it's right there. You can see it. He's moving some dirt. But right across the street, there's another big retention pond. And then just maybe 100 feet down the street, another developer's digging more retention ponds. Because all of this was wetland at one time. And undoubtedly, people don't get it. That's what acts as the filter and recharges our drinking water. You can't keep filling it in and let them claim they're doing the right thing. Because these retention ponds get contaminated with the oils and tire rubber and hydraulic fluids and whatnot. And I'm kind of wondering where that big trencher is going to go. See, I'm a utility contractor. I'm not that anymore, but I was at one time. And I've worked around a lot of these big developments. I did small, tiny work compared to any of this. Shit, their machines could pick my machines up in the bucket. But the destruction right in front of us. And I will put money, this is going to get filled in, because if they build it down there, no matter what they do, they're building it in a flood zone. Because that probably drops at least 4 feet from the elevation of the sidewalk, from the elevation of the sidewalk down to the dirt. It's probably a good 4-foot drop off. Anyway, I know we can do better. And remember, together we can do more. Y'all have a great day.